It has been incredibly difficult for me emotionally to see my grandmother's finances be abused in this way. This was just 2 years ago, shortly after my grandmother turned 91. This is summer of 2023, July of 2023 to be specific. My biological mother moved herself in with my grandmother back in July of 2020 and somehow managed to convince my grandmother to put her on a bank account as a joint account holder. Since my grandmother has been in the care facility that she's in right now in Santa Rosa, which has been since November. My grandmother's daughter paid the first month's rent with my grandmother's money in November and hasn't paid since. So we are in thousands of dollars in debt right now.
Financial abuse is the taking or the assisting of the taking of property. Financial abuse of elders is very, very common, especially in California. We have a huge population, we have a huge senior population, and it goes unreported all the time. The most common outcomes for financial elder abuse cases are a lot of times you have a family member who doesn't know what to do, doesn't take the right steps, and they just get abused and nothing happens. So they're abused, they lose their life savings.
I'm so helpless. Even though I'm trying not to be helpless, I feel that there's so many hurdles I have to jump through and I'm not getting anywhere.
This is a general power of attorney. What it means is that it goes into effect if somebody becomes incompetent.
Very challenging for us is when there are no power of attorney documents that explain when the resident no longer has capacity to make decisions, who gets to make decisions, and how their money should be used.
You need to have a power of attorney, but if you get a power of attorney, you need to pick two people so they balance each other and you don't have one person abusing and the other person with no restrictions on that. And you want to pick people that you trust. I'm always surprised when I meet somebody in their 60s and 70s and they don't have an estate plan, or even somebody in their 40s or 50s and they have kids and they don't have an estate plan. You need to have an estate plan from the time you get assets, from the time you have kids.
For whatever reason, she hesitated on getting that power of attorney done. She didn't think that she would ever get dementia, and I never thought that she would either. I mean, you can't tell when that's going to happen in someone's life. It's unpredictable. So otherwise, I would have pushed harder, but lesson learned.
It's incredibly frustrating that there isn't an easier way for a new decision maker to be appointed.
No one envisions themselves in a nursing home. No one. You have a life plan, and it may not go exactly the way you planned, but I can promise you there's not a single person in there who said, I want to go to a nursing home when I get old. It just doesn't happen.
I do think people avoid thinking about elders and people aging. I think they're scared of the thought of it, so they kind of bury their heads in the sand. They don't want to bring up issues with their family. They don't want to talk about money with their family. But it's so important just to be open and honest and discuss your plan.
The aging population is the fastest growing in San Francisco, and we serve 400. So we know we're just scratching the surface. How do you find someone who may not be in the system, or how do you find someone that's alone and isolated?
So elders do become invisible, and abuse is easier to carry off, perhaps not even intentionally, but are elders valued in America? Not enough.
I think that unlike other countries, we don't respect our elders like we should. and we need to respect them more, and we need to take care of them more, and we need people looking in on them, especially those elders that don't have family, because there is so much rampant abuse, and that shows a complete and utter lack of elders and respect for our elders. It's taking advantage of the most vulnerable members of our society is what it is.